Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE NXT review for May 17th, 2017. I know this video is going up very late, and I do apologize that it is, but I just finished doing my Retro Wrestling review series for every NXT special. The last episode is currently uploaded as I'm doing this. It should be available in about 10 minutes, it says. So I'm going to finally start to catch up on these NXT shows. I have to watch this episode, then NXT Takeover Chicago, and then like three episodes of NXT following this. So I got some ways to go, and I'm going to try to catch up probably by tomorrow. So I'm just going to start with this episode. I don't really remember a lot what was on the show just because it's been so long. But this is the go home show before NXT Takeover Chicago, so I expect them to really build up to that. I remember they made a match between Kassius, Ohno, and Andrade, Cien, Almas instead of putting the match on the NXT Takeover show. They decided to put it here. It was really weird. But yeah. I always kind of felt like that Kassius Ohno gets screwed on that. Like he gets screwed out of having a big NXT Takeover match. I really don't give a shit, but whatever. Um, I'm gonna just structure this review. After each match or segment, I'll come on here and talk about it. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's just get right into it. Okay, so starting off the show, it shows Bobby Roode arriving to the arena, and the guy that's I guess is hired to push around his suitcase. He's just like, "Let's go," and he's like, "Okay, I'm coming." He's like, "I haven't got all day," and then that was it. I expected him to do something, but I guess he didn't. But I actually thought this was pretty funny, and I thought it was just showed him it showed how Bobby Roode could be a great heel. Okay, so we actually got to the actual show itself, and we had the commentary team of Percy Watson, Tom Phillips, and Nigel McGuinness, and we had the first match on the show. It was Drew McIntyre versus Sean Maluta. I thought this was a solid opening matchup. Drew McIntyre looked really dominant, but Sean Maluta looked pretty strong in this match as well. Drew McIntyre hits like a belly to belly out of the corner, and he hits like a throw suplex on him, a knee drop on him, and then Sean Maluta hits a code breaker off the top rope out of the corner, which I thought was cool. And he tries to get some offense in, but Drew McIntyre cuts him off with a big clothesline. He hits a couple of corner clotheslines in the corner, just really beats the crap out of him in the corner, and then he goes off the top rope and hits like an axe handle on him, and Sean Maluta tries to fight back with a couple of right hands, but Drew McIntyre bounces off the ropes and hits a headbutt, and then he hits the single leg Akuzi kick for the win, and afterwards he gets interviewed and gets asked if it concerns him that he has Wesley Blake's attention, and he says that it doesn't concern him because it would be better if he had someone's if he didn't have anybody's attention. And he says that nobody has his attention, and he says that if Wesley Blake wants to come, has an issue with him, then he could come fight him next week. So I'm guessing that's another match for NXT Takeover Chicago. But overall, I thought this was a solid match, and it really put over Drew McIntyre in a nice way. And I thought that the promo that he cut was solid. Okay, so next, Sanity cuts a promo backstage, and Eric Young says that you have a new baby and a beautiful wife, and yet you want Sanity at NXT Takeover Chicago. And he says that people call us crazy, and normally we would take that as an insult because we're far from crazy. And he said that normally we don't take requests, but we're going to be different here. And he says that he'll see Roderick Strong at NXT Takeover Chicago. So there's another NXT Takeover Chicago match right there. I think that makes sense for them to have a match because they have a little bit of a history, going back to when they were originally feuding earlier this year. And then you have, this is a kind of a way to get Eric Young a match on this show and kind of keep Sanity doing something. So I'm actually fine with them having a match. And they've been doing a lot of stuff with Roderick Strong, so I think that's pretty damn cool. Okay, so next it shows a build-up video for the WWE United Kingdom Championship match coming up at NXT TakeOver Chicago between Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. And I figured I'd talk about it since I don't think they're going to do anything to build it up for this show. You know, you have, Tyler Bate, who introduces himself, as an underdog. You have Pete Dunne, who introduces himself, talks about how he's a bruiserweight and he likes to hurt people. And it shows their match in the finals of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament, where Tyler Bate was able to knock him off and win the United Kingdom Championship. And he says that, he's 20 years old and he's living the dream, but he talks about how he doesn't want to just live the dream. He wants to take the United Kingdom Championship to places it's never been taken before, even though he's the first champion, but whatever. And it talks about, how Pete Dunne became #1 contender for the championship. And Pete Dunne talks about how it was a fluke when Tyler Bate beat him for that championship in the finals of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament. And he talks about how people got a taste of what he can do. And he says that you're going to find out what I can fully do in NXT TakeOver Chicago. Tyler Bate talks about how it's a dream come true for him to be able to compete at NXT TakeOver Chicago. And he said that he's going to make the most out of this opportunity. And Pete Dunne talks about how he crushes people's dreams, and he says that he's going to crush Tyler Bates' dream at NXT TakeOver Chicago, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win the United Kingdom Championship. And then that was the whole build-up. I can't wait for this match. This is a match I've wanted to see since the finals of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament, and I can't wait to see this match happen again. Really looking forward to it. And I think like the match they had at the United Kingdom Championship Tournament finals was, I thought, really good. But because both guys are going to be 100%, and they haven't had any matches or anything, I expect this match to really tear down the show and kind of show the NXT universe what they can do. And it kind of brings some legitimacy. I mean, it's already kind of legitimate, but they haven't really showcased this title a lot since the United Kingdom Championship Tournament all that much. So I expect them to really put some legitimacy into the United Kingdom Championship. Okay, so next it shows a video package for the Velveteen Dream. Obviously, this is a gimmick that's a gay gimmick. It talks about how he's captivating, something else and something else, and how he's makes you believe, and it just shows him like acting like he's like kissing you and stuff. It's just, yeah, really weird. It's a weird gimmick. Maybe they can make something out of this, I don't know, but at the moment I'm just not into this gimmick. It's not that I'm against people that are gay or anything, it's just, yeah, it's just a strange gimmick that they're having this be a gimmick in professional wrestling. And what really doesn't make any sense about it too is obviously this gimmick's being played by Patrick Cloak, and he really isn't gay, and I've seen him wrestle under this gimmick before, and it's just so awkward and unusual, so I just don't really care about it. But maybe I can see what he can do with this. Maybe he's had time to practice this gimmick, and they can make something out of this gimmick, but we're going to have to wait and see. Okay, so next we had an exclusive interview with Asuka, and what was kind of weird about this was they just filmed it while she was driving to the arena. Like some random guy decided to get into their car and just film it. Like let her get into the arena, but I guess it was weird. But pretty much the guy keeps trying to ask her questions, and she's just not interested in answering any of them. So eventually she's just like, "Is this interview over?" And he's like, "Yeah." Yeah, you tell that guy, Asuka. Tell him to let you drive in peace to the arena, because you're not paid to answer any of that guy's fucking questions. So then Asuka, I thought this was actually pretty funny, gets out of the limousine, and she gets greeted by all the fans, and everyone's chanting Asuka for her. She's all happy about it. She's taking like a video of them, or like a selfie. And then when she walks away, she's just like, oh, like she was annoyed that she had to do that. I actually thought that was kind of funny. And you can kind of see where Asuka's kind of changed now. Now she's kind of changed into like this heel, where she's cocky and she doesn't want to deal with anybody. And I just think it's great. I think it was time to turn Asuka heel, and it made sense. And yeah, I thought it was cool. Okay, so next match was Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville. Um, I This match was sloppy. I didn't really like it. Um, it was just kind of like two women just wrestling for no reason. I didn't really have a reason to care about these women, and I didn't really know who they were. It was at least two new women in the division, but it was just kind of like, I kind of wish they had done maybe like a little bit of a hype video package, kind of introducing who they were to kind of, so that way I could kind of give a shit about them, because it was just kind of tough to. Um, but the match was just sloppy anyways. And I think the NXT crowd kind of gets it. You know, crowds would just hijack a match and cheer all types of stuff at it, but they just stayed quiet. And I think that's what you need to do when you don't like something. You don't chant anything. You shut your fucking mouth and show that you don't like it. But let me get to the match. Sonya pretty much dominates. She tackles Lacey Evans. She takes her gloves off and just beats the crap out of her. But Lacey Evans makes a little bit of a comeback. She hits a neck breaker into like a big into like a moonsault, and covers her. But Lacey Evans kicks out. Then Lacey Evans gets the upper hand. She hits like an Itsuguri out of the corner for the win, and then that was it. If she was supposed to be like an MMA, mixed martial arts expert, maybe she should have beat her by like a submission move instead. But maybe Lacey Evans can't really take submissions. But I can kind of see where they see something in Lacey Evans. I can maybe see something there. Sonya Deville, sort of. Not really. Just being honest, I don't really see anything there. I see something maybe in Lacey Evans, but I kind of don't see anything either. It's just maybe I would have to see this woman wrestle a few more times. I don't really see anything in Sonya Deville. I don't really see her ever succeeding maybe. Especially if Asuka's going to be on top of the NXT Women's Title food chain. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. It was a sloppy match. Didn't really care about it. Okay, so then we had the main event. It was Kassius Ohno versus Andrade Cien Almas. And a funny thing about Andrade Cien Almas is when he went to make his entrance, his hat fell off and his like little pyro stuff came up like right next to him. I was kind of shocked he didn't get like burns or something. But both men start chain wrestling each other. Almas does the spot where he sits down like this and pronged up. And he actually plays some mind games with Ohno, telling him to pin him. And then Ohno tries to throw him out of the ring. He stands in that position. And then Ohno gets a few right hands in, but Almas cowers away and goes outside the ring. Ohno acts like he's going to hit a dive on the outside, but instead he hits like that front flip. And seeing that, just by God, Kassius Ohno really needs to get in fucking shape, man. Like, he just, like I've talked about before, he just does not look healthy. It's either he needs to get in shape, or they need to get him some new fucking winter tires. Like, oh my gosh. Like, the guy's not that bad in the ring. He can cut a great promo, but he just really needs to get in fucking shape. He doesn't look healthy at all. But then Kassius Ohno hits a pump kick on the outside, and then he puts Almas back in the ring. He goes to put up on the apron, and Almas hits a big boot from the apron, knocking Ohno off. And Andrade Cien Almas takes control of the match for a little while, and then he runs across the ring and slaps Ohno right in the fucking face. Which I don't really get why he does that, but whatever. And Almas continues the attack. He goes to run across and hit another slap in the face. And Ohno hits a big boot, and he starts making his comeback. He hits a pump kick. He hits a swinging neck breaker, covers him. Almas kicks out, and it just becomes a really back and forth matchup. Almas hits a backbreaker into the elbow drop. Ohno kicks out. Ohno hits a spinning big boot. Almas kicks out. Then he goes to go off the top. He hits a reverse tornado DDT. Ohno kicks out. Then he hits the double knees into the corner, in which Nigel McGuinness accidentally called him by his Ring of Honor name again. Nigel McGuinness, you got to realize he's doing NXT, not Ring of Honor. And he goes for the hammerlock DDT. Almas Ohno counters into the like a move. I forget the move. And then eventually Ohno hits a pump kick again. Almost no sells it, and then Ohno hits 2 rolling elbows for the win, and Ohno goes over. Overall, I thought the match actually was good. Didn't think it was a great match, but I thought it was good, and it was a good main event. But there's still more of the show, so I'm going to watch that and see what else there is to cover. Okay, so then we had the main event segment of the show. Bobby Roode comes out to cut a promo, and he talks about how everywhere he goes, all he hears about is Hideo Itami. Because on this episode, they actually played like a big tribute to Hideo Itami's career. It shows his debut. It shows him hitting the GTS for the first time on the March 27th, 2015 live event they did. It shows him returning to NXT when he laid out Bobby Roode and then becoming the #1 contender to the NXT Championship. And he says that, all he hears is GTS this. And he says that for no reason, he talks about how for no reason Hideo Itami came out here and cheap shotted him and attacked him unprovoked. And he says that, he'll admit that Hideo Itami got the best of him, but he said that he warned Hideo Itami that next time he's not going to be wearing a custom-made suit. He's going to be in his wrestling gear, and he's going to be the best wrestler on NXT. And then he talks about, and then he says, what is Hideo Itami really accomplished in NXT anyways? Let's see, he was here, and then he was gone, and then he came back, and then he got injured, then he came back, and it just repeated into the same cycle. While he's been in NXT, he's made NXT his own brand and how to grow to heights it never had before. But he said, but that's okay, because after NXT TakeOver Chicago, Hideo Itami is going to have to fly back home to Japan and tell his wife and his kid that daddy failed. And then Hideo Itami comes out and Bobby Roode tells him to calm down. He says that we can do this Sunday. And then William Regal and a bunch of security come down and try to prevent Itami from coming down there to protect the main event. And when this happens, Roode's egging him on to come fight him. Hideo Itami acts like he's going to back off, but then he rushes the win. And he attacks Bobby Roode, and security has to hold him back. And he starts attacking the security. He lays out 2 of them with the go to sleep. And he goes to lay out another one, but while Itami has his back turned, Roode attacks him from behind. And Hideo Itami is able to counter it into the go to sleep. And then he just stands tall over Bobby Roode. And then that was it. I thought this was a good segment. I thought this was a good way to push this feud to make Hideo Itami look strong going into NXT TakeOver Chicago. And I enjoyed it. Okay, so overall, I actually thought NXT was actually a pretty good show. You had the opening match with Drew McIntyre versus Sean Maluta that I thought was a good match. You had the what else? The Oscar interview I liked. I liked the video package showing the build-up for the United Kingdom Championship match coming up at NXT TakeOver Chicago. And then I liked the promo segment between Hideo Itami and Bobby Roode. The only thing I really didn't care for was the Velveteen Dream video package and the women's match on this show. But everything else I thought was pretty good. If I had to rate this show, I probably rated a 7.5 out of 10. It was a good show, but not like a great show or anything, but a good go-home show. I even forgot to mention I even liked Sanity's promo on this show. So now I'm going to give you my star ratings for each match. For the Drew McIntyre-Sean Maluta match, I'm probably going to give that match probably 2.5 stars. It was a good match, and I thought it was a nice way to make Drew McIntyre look strong. I forgot to mention when Sean Maluta even had attacked him, he even ended up like busting open his eye a little bit. For the women's match, I'm probably going to give that 1 star. Just didn't really care about that match. And then for the Andrade, Cien, Almas, Kassius, Ohno match. I'm probably going to give that match 3 stars. I thought that was a good, fun match. And that's pretty much it, guys. Please make sure to subscribe to my Cien Brothers and Owen the Talkinator channel and all the other channels down in the description box below. And make sure to check out, subscribe to this channel for more content in the future. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.